Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Vince Molinari, and welcome to FinTech TV's The Digital Asset Report. This is a special episode in collaboration with New to the Street, and I'd like to welcome Michael Kong. Michael is the CEO of Phantom Foundation. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, welcome to the iconic New York Stock Exchange. Special episode today in collaboration with New to the Street. A great day for us here. I'd love you to tell us a little bit about what's going on, maybe a little background on the Phantom Foundation and what you've been up to.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Michael Kong. I'm the CEO of the Phantom Foundation. And what we do is we work on our own ecosystem called the Phantom ecosystem. It's its own, like what we call like layer one blockchain. So it's its own chain. It runs its own unique consensus engine that is able to process transactions, multiple transactions simultaneously, as opposed to like say one transaction at a time or one block at a time, unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's connected to the smart contract engine that allows people to write all sorts of different applications. So when you think about the use cases of smart contracts, you think about decentralized finance, you think about like NFTs, you can do that same sort of activity on Phantom, but at like a much lower cost while still maintaining security than say an alternative platform like Ethereum.
So as I understand it, big differentiator solving for pain points of speed, multiple transactions, but really I think one of the big things I hear all the time is the greater reduction in cost to execute in using your system.
Yeah, that's right, because what's unique about our technology and what we spent about 1.5 years developing, and we launched the mainnet on December 2019. So it's been running really, really well for the past 2.5 years. Is we've been able to create our own consensus engine that allows you to process these transactions simultaneously. It's called asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance. So that's a mouthful.
You're gonna have to give that to me a few more times before I could ever say that. But yeah, give it to me one more time.
Yeah, so it's called, the technical term is called asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance, right? Essentially, it allows you to process transactions asynchronously, meaning that the network can process multiple blocks or transactions at the same time. And so when you're processing, say, like 5 blocks at the same time or 10 blocks at the same time, you're processing more transactions than if you're processing 1 block at the same time. So for example, like with Ethereum, you're processing, say, like 1 block every like 13 seconds or so. With our network, you're processing blocks on average about 1 second, right? And that's because you can process these blocks simultaneously. So because you have a higher network throughput, it means that you can process more transactions per second, which means that you can lower the cost on average per transaction.
Michael, thank you for joining us for this special episode with FinTech TV and New to the Street, and look forward to having you back again soon.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate the opportunity again. Yeah.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Want to get linked to a really good investment? Everyone knows you have to be at the right place at the right time. So here's the deal. Link2 is that place. And when you sign up, you'll join an awesome community of investors with access to the world's leading private companies way before they go mainstream. Are you ready to get linked to? Our unicorns are waiting. Link2, Private investing made simple.
Micra is a biological wellness and consumer wellness company. And with me is the CEO, Faraz Jamal, to talk about Micra. And then the parent company is Lifest, right? So we'll explain that corporate relationship a little bit, but let's start with Micra. And I mean, it was really interesting to read about it because you're working with wellness on the cellular level.
Yep.
So explain what you're doing.
Yeah, so I always say that Micra is a biological sciences company first and a consumer wellness company second. And how I explain that is essentially we work with the most bioactive compounds humanly possible, and then we pair it with our direct-to-cell technology. So we ensure that those bioactive compounds actually make it directly into your bloodstream and absorbed by your body.
Okay, so is this a pill that you take? Or?
No, we call it actually a nutraceutical gel.
Okay, so how does it work?
Yeah, so once you actually ingest what we call self, it goes through your body and it's absorbed in your jejunum, just slightly lower in your small intestine, directly by having your cells basically signaled and then allowing them to be absorbed directly.
So how do I absorb it? Do I drink it like a powder or what?
No, it's actually more like, think of it more as like a nut butter. So you just put it into your spoon or into your smoothie and just drink it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now explain the science behind it. Like, what does it do? How does it help with wellness?
Yeah, so we feel that that health actually starts at a cellular level. So at the most microscopic level, that's where Micra's products are meant to actually impact your health. So I always describe your health as a still pond. And if you throw in like a really, really large rock, you start to see these reverberations just work out from where the rock hit in the pond. That's exactly how Self, Micra's first flagship product, works. So once you do take it, it creates a whole bunch of chain reactions at a cellular level that can have impacts on your brain, your cardio, as well as your skin and your digestive health. So we essentially wanted to create total body wellness just from the microscopic level.
Okay, so it's like starting, it's almost like hydration. Like you got to start
Yeah.
with like the basic, right? And then go from there.
That's exactly it. It's essentially cellular nutrition. So we're really excited about that. And one of the things I always ask everyone is essentially, do you take a multivitamin? And if you do take a multivitamin, the majority of the time you're thinking that it's really benefiting your health and things like that. But quite honestly, if you don't have a mineral deficiency or anything of the sort, the multivitamin's kind of lost. Like you don't really absorb it at all, and quite honestly, how much innovation have you seen on the multivitamin, right? It's still just a capsule or a powder or anything like that. So we wanted to go one step further. So Self, our first iteration of our flagship product, it affects everything. So your brain, your nervous system, your muscle, your recovery. It works very, very quickly on some, and the benefits can cascade into better recovery from workouts, better sleep, better recall, spatial awareness, a whole host of things.
Talk to me about the wellness industry in general. Like I feel like during the pandemic, we became super aware of vitamin D and all these kind of things. I mean, is that what you're seeing from a consumer point of view?
I'm seeing a very stressed out and confused consumer.
Because of the pandemic or just life in general?
I think honestly, it's actually funny. Yeah, the pandemic was, I think it exacerbated a lot of issues. People were already stressed out, and now they're super stressed out about what's happening at a microscopic level. All the items with the vaccines and the RNA and so forth, everybody's kind of diving deeper at their health, but there's no real solution yet to actually impact your cellular health in the best way. If you walk into any store right now, you're going to be assaulted with a bunch of different supplements, and they're generally all pills, right? They're all just pseudo. They're all essentially the same. They all have roughly the same ingredients and things like that, but nobody's actually innovating on the delivery system. A lot of products right now have that liposomal type coating, which ensures that it passes through your gastric environment, which is also something that we employ with our products. But once it gets through your gastric environment, there are not a lot of products out there that have the right biological delivery system so that you are actually absorbing your health. So the pandemic has, I think, increased the total addressable market for supplements, but it's made it more crowded and more confusing. It's funny, we ran a customer survey 6 or 7 months ago, and we just asked individuals what they thought of the health and wellness industry, and a whole bunch of questions related to that. And the number one thing that stuck with me from that survey was people said that it was hard to be healthy. So we have all of these choices out there and all this opportunity, but everybody is still finding it very, very difficult to actually be healthy. So that's what we're looking to solve. If you just have to take this one product per day and it takes 10 seconds, and then you start to feel those benefits really, really quickly, it almost makes it super simple.
And where can somebody find the products?
So right now it's primarily sold at wearemicro.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming to explain this.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Want to get linked to a really good investment? Everyone knows you have to be at the right place at the right time. So here's the deal. Link2 is that place. And when you sign up, you'll join an awesome community of investors with access to the world's leading private companies way before they go mainstream. Are you ready to get linked to? Our unicorns are waiting. Link2. Private investing made simple.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Secure is a Swiss-hosted private communications platform that offers email, also messaging, a chat by invite feature. None of it is data mined and sold to advertisers. And with me is the CEO, Alain Gahu, from Switzerland.
Yes.
So great to have you here in New York at the New York Stock Exchange. And I saw an article I wanted to ask you about, that cyber insurance. And somebody told me a few years ago this would be a good thing for businesses to get. But the premiums have gone up 91% for cyber insurance year over year. What do you think of that? Why such a big jump in premiums?
That's crazy. Well, cyber insurance, it's just like when you have a car insurance, let's say, and you have a lot of bad drivers. The collective essentially is going to raise the price of a car. If you're a great driver, or if you have like 5 airbags or something, a lot of time the insurance company lowers the price, right? Depending on the safety and security. Cyber insurance is the same way. We have had too many businesses compromise, obviously. This is a $6 trillion industry every year. It's causing damage to the globe. About a $300 billion industry in the US. And what's happening is that now people need to really understand that hacking is here. And these insurance companies, they can't pay out millions of dollars every time, right? So they have to hike it up.
Yeah.
A great way to do is that if you're a business, take small steps. At the very least, use a secure and private email. When you use communication, be careful. Don't use your free application, because essentially what you need to do is plug and seal everything in your business so that the hackers can come in. So the fact that they're going up 91% or something, at least because probably their cost is going up. And then also, it's something that some industries require. If you're in certain industry, you have to have cyber insurance. So, when a commodity is hot, like cyber insurance, why not raise the price?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it makes sense because we did see a lot of breaches and hacks in 2021.
Yes.
And so.
And more to come in 2022.
That's right. We're playing
We have a ton coming in 2022. We got the health thing now. We got all these new viruses coming. So there's going to be medical hack. We got midterm election. We forget about that
that's
for
right.
our viewers in the United States. There's elections coming up. We're going to be bombarded by fake news, by hacks, by spam. I mean, it's just nonstop. And as the world wakes up and restarts from the COVID catastrophe, activity will increase. Business activity, banking activity. Consumers are out there now. They want to travel. They want to spend some money. They use credit card. They email things. They back and forth. So all of that data is prime. It's like a buffet for these cybersecurity guys, right? So that's why, as a business, whether you're a small business or a large enterprise, I really highly recommend that you take steps to reduce the attack if you can, and definitely you have to have that cyber insurance.
Yeah. Well, and if you have certain platforms, maybe like yours, that might reduce your premiums
Yes.
as well. Like if you're, have a car with airbags and things like that. So maybe that could help.
That's it. So our platform, which doesn't use the big tech cloud platform, so that's a plus. Because those guys are also heavily compromised because they have billions of people on it. There's good material for the hackers. So if you use Secure, for example, or Secure Mail. Secure Mail, if you email someone outside of your company, typically using the typical software that everybody uses, those emails are compromised. It's called BEC, Business Email Compromise. I think there was an article that the FBI said it's a $50 billion headache for them because businesses are compromised when they send and receive email back and forth. With Secure Mail, you have that secure send feature, so you can communicate with someone. They click on a link when they get the notice. You can password protect, you can self-destruct and so forth, and then that person can reply back. So if you're a banker and you want to send something to your customer, you can send them with Secure Send. If you're an accountant, or even if you're just a client and you're sending bank info to your accountant, you want to use Secure Send, because if you use a regular email with all your banking info, which everybody does, those hackers are going to get all that info. So that's one way.
Yeah.
And B, you only accept people in your circle that you know, and they have to have a secure number and so forth. So there's a bigger vetting process, so to speak. And of course, it's all hosted in Switzerland, and everything stays within our multi-encryption system. But the big thing is you don't divulge your phone number. I think when people text and chat, that's the first time a hacker comes in. Some hackers come to businesses and they watch them for 6 months until they find out where is that server, where is that infrastructure. In Latin, they say to err is human. Well, we are humans, and we're going to make a mistake at some point, and machines cannot always protect us, so we need to use our common sense and, of course, defense like Secure Mail, etc.
Okay. And you're launching something new for businesses. Tell me about that.
Yes, so around September, probably after the holidays, we're going to do a huge marketing for all business services. That will be the email, the messenger, and the Secure as a whole. We have those services today. We actually are getting a lot of requests. People are buying those email for businesses, but we're going to basically do a few more tutorial videos, tweak a few things, so that if you're a business and you're really looking to migrate to our platform, it will be seamless and easy to do. You won't have to spend tens of thousands to an IT company to do it for you. So we're just tweaking a few things over the summer. We're going to, hopefully, obviously there's 30 million small business in the US. Maybe we can target a couple million of them, the ones that are more prone to, you got lawyers, real estate, mortgage. If I may, with those rates rising like crazy, people are refinancing or selling
A lot of
home.
financial information
A lot of
being
financial
exchanged.
information is going to be exchanged, and those businesses are vulnerable. We do have an agreement with Remax. We signed a partnership to launch our services. We're going to have more conversation with them. We want to really push the Remax as well around September. So, it's September, October are the two biggest months for business business sales, right?
Okay.
Because later you have Thanksgiving and it goes
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
So we're preparing, we're in the trenches, we're building the foundation, tweaking thing. We're going to hook up mid-June our messenger to our brand new $1 million platform with servers that we just installed in Switzerland. So we're excited. We're being quiet now, but we're not going to be quiet around September.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll look forward to an update then, Alon. Thank you so
Jane.
much.
Thank you.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Want to get linked to a really good investment? Everyone knows you have to be at the right place at the right time. So here's the deal. Link2 is that place. And when you sign up, you'll join an awesome community of investors with access to the world's leading private companies way before they go mainstream. Are you ready to get linked to? Our unicorns are waiting. Link2. Private investing made simple.
LootUp is a blockchain-based payment app. And with me is the CEO and founder, Justin Wayo, to explain about LootUp. We'll talk about your other project, Legacy, too. But let's start with LootUp, because that's your fresh, kind of new project that you're doing, right? Explain how it works.
So LootUp is, as you said, a payment app. We recently merged it with an OTC market company called Quantum International Core. So basically what it is, it's a payment app built on Legacy Network. And so we have all the advantages of Legacy Network onto the payment app.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why would I use LootUp instead of, say, Venmo or PayPal?
So when you use Venmo, you're actually giving your money to Venmo, they're holding on to it, and then you transact within their ecosystem. And then when you're taking it back into your bank, you take it out. But while it's in their ecosystem, they have a custody, right, of your funds, and then they can freeze it, they can trap you out of your account. And
now, is that similar to what we're seeing with some of these crypto lending firms, like that they're taking people's deposits and using them for whatever,
right?
Because it's a non-custodial account.
Yeah, they're taking your funds like a bank would and reinvesting it into other things, and next thing you know, as you've seen in the market, they're insolvent and you can't get your funds and you didn't do anything, it's not your fault. But, and that's where we differ on our payment app. Yeah.
So tell me about the market. Has the crash in crypto, I think it's fair to call it a crash, has that affected LootUp's growth or your ability to gain interest in the business?
It's affected us, but in a positive way, I feel, because I feel like it's, draining the swamp of, of the crypto projects. There's so many scams. There's so many companies that are over leveraged. So, although we don't like seeing people lose money and we don't, wish any bad ill on any other projects, it's actually been good for us because we've been taking developers from other projects. We've been acquiring certain projects. So it's actually been good for us.
Yeah, interesting. This is the time you're building.
Exactly. It's been a very good time to build.
So there's a lot of the issue was the API, very high APIs in some or APYs in some cases, where people, they were promising, you get X, whatever, 30, 50, even 100% or whatever on your money, which sounds enticing, but that was, how do you handle that whole APY situation?
So our opinion on it has always been, it's unsustainable. And during the bull run and the market's peak about a year ago, everybody was kind of looking at us on Legacy Network, and they were saying, you guys should up your APY, and all this stuff, and we're like, it's not sustainable, it's, and now we're kind of seeing the fallout of all of that. You know, without mentioning names, you know, there's been a lot of crashes.
Yeah, no, we all know.
Yeah.
They've watched the news. How does it tie into the Legacy Network than your other project?
So the way LootUp ties into Legacy is there's a blockchain and dApps, and you need a blockchain to build your dApp on. So I actually started LootUp years ago, and we just couldn't find a chain that we really liked, so we ended up developing Legacy Network.
Okay.
And that's kind of how they're both the same.
So LootUp is a dApp
Right.
on the Legacy Network.
Exactly.
So you really, so you created the Legacy Network, and then you created LootUp to build on that.
Exactly.
Do you think you might do some other dApps?
We're developing a lot of dApps on Legacy Network, but on my end, LootUp's been my goal the entire time. So our other developers on Legacy Network will have their own separate dApps that they've been building Legacy for as well.
What are some key features of LootUp?
So some key features in LootUp that differ from crypto projects is normally a wallet on crypto is a little too hard for mom and pop to use. So the way we're making it different is instead of long addresses, we're sending to usernames. We're doing something called sponsored gas, which makes it so you can send the token you want without having to use the gas to send it. So we sponsor that gas, and you can use one token to send. There's other things like we're sending invoices with the transactions. You can confirm and cancel your payments, so there's no risk of accidentally sending it to the wrong person. And just, a lot of little things like that.
Yeah,
Whitelisting
this one's very
accounts.
handy. So a business or an individual could sign up for LootUp now?
We are launching hopefully within the next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do they do that? How would they sign up for that?
So all you need is for the basic account, you just need an email and a password.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Justin. I always learn something when you're in, so it's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you. You too.